Hey folks, welcome to week one, senior seminar 490. Hey, it's Thursday, classes are getting started. Hope things are off to a great start for you. As I mentioned to you in the introductory video, things are going to go fairly quick. So we're into week one. In week one, we've got, I didn't set the schedule, let me tell you that. Week one, we got 2 days, Thursday and Friday. But I told you before, your my caller, crazy. Your stuff is due Saturday at midnight. So week one, the first topic we're going to start off on is the psychological impact of music. So I want you to read a couple articles on the psychological impact of music, how music affects us psychologically, how it affects what we think about and the ways that we respond. How does music impact how we view ourselves in relationship to others? Can music motivate us to feel a certain way or to do a certain thing? So there are going to be 3 articles. The first article I want you to read is an article called Music and Stress. You've probably heard the phrase, music soothes the savage beast. You ever been in a really stinky mood, you're pissed, you're in the car, things are not going your way, turn on the radio, it just happens to be your jam, boom. What happened to your bad mood? You're there singing away, got a smile on your face, things are all good. Music is also related to how we connect with people. It's kind of interesting. If you look at your circle of friends, oftentimes we have friends that like the same kind of music we do. So there's a second article I want you to look at, and that's the role of music in friendship formation and stability. Lastly, but certainly not least, is music and identity. Oftentimes the music that we like personally is music that we can identify, because in listening to the lyrics we identify with the lyricist or the lyrics. We see ourselves in the music, and those are the songs that really kind of inspire us and fire our imagination. One of the things I ask you to do every week is it's called journaling. And if you've had me before in a class, like if you had me in IDST 300, or if you've taken any of the other courses I've taught, I really like this technique called journaling. So here's basically the idea. After you've read these 3 articles, I want you to write a couple paragraphs, 2, 3 max, not on each article, but collectively. Based on what you read, what do you think about it? I mean, does any of it really speak to you? Do you believe everything that you read? Did you question anything? One thing I like to look for, I call it the aha moment, where you read something and you go, oh man, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. This will probably resonate more with women. I'm not a feminist or a genderist. I'm not trying to be role specific, but I've got 5 kids. I've got 4 daughters and a son. And one thing I've noticed, when my daughters were young, they kept journals. And basically, when they journaled, it was more about what they were thinking about, things that happened to them or experiences they had. And that's what I want in your journaling. I don't want you to regurgitate back to me what you read, because I'm reading it too. I mean, I know what it says. I don't sound arrogant, but I picked out the articles. I want to know what you think about what you read. Secondly, for this week, it's going to be relatively easy. I got an icebreaker assignment. And there's a link for that in Blackboard. And I want you to tell me about your favorite song. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of flack from a bunch of you. They're going to go, hey dude, you know, I got a bunch of favorite songs. I can't narrow it down. Pick one. Okay? It's not brain surgery. I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire. I want you to pick one song that you really love. And I want you to talk about it. Tell me who it's by, what you know about the song, and how it makes you feel. Like what I wrote is that I am absolutely in love with a song called Kashmir by a band named Led Zeppelin. I don't want to age myself, but the song was written in 1971-72, recorded in 1974. I happened to buy the album that Kashmir was on, and the lyrics to Kashmir speak to me personally. The experiences that Robert Plant, who is the lyricist, had during a trip to and through Morocco, and spending time with people and understanding kind of the sense of identity and culture and awareness that he encountered as he spent time in a culture outside of his own, really speaks to me. I love the song, the music, the chord structure, the bridge. It's just absolutely stunning. In fact, I love it so much that I wanted to call one of my children Cashmere, but my wife said Ixnay on the Cashmere, so I named our children after other songs. But ask me about that later. But the icebreaker is just, I want you to tell me about your favorite song. And I want everybody else to kind of read everybody else's posts, because we can kind of get to know one another. Lastly, but certainly not least, usually every week I have a couple videos off of YouTube. Sometimes they're TED Talks, and other times they're short little bits that I really think speak to the topic at hand. Remember, the topic is the psychological impact of music. So we're going to look at the mental and emotional effects of music, and then the impact of music on the brain. You know, we're already going to be looking at music and stress. Hey, if you listen to music and it reduces stress, and we know that stress physiologically and biomechanically and biologically is kind of not good for us. If there's a way to reduce that, so music has an impact on the brain? Well, yeah, it does. So I want you to read this. Hopefully you'll get enlightened by it. Again, let me tell you, I'm really blessed that you're in this class. I'm so glad you're here. And I really hope this is a rich learning experience. And I hope you learn a lot, as much about yourself as you are about interdisciplinary research stuff. And I've tried to, again, I've tried to pick a topic, that is music, that I think there are a number of different interdisciplinary connections to it that can help you. Now, even though it's the first week, it's not too early for you to just to begin to think about your paper. Look at the syllabus, look at the requirements for the paper. You got to pick out a topic from your interdisciplinary work. You've chosen a cognate. It might be psychology, or it could be a group of them, psychology and sociology. You might be minoring in child advocacy. So maybe you're interested in a topic of, say, the impact of domestic violence on childhood adaptive behaviors or learning. Or you may have chosen psychology, journalism, and speech, and minoring in music. So maybe you're interested in looking at something related to the psychology of marketing and consumer behavior and those types of things. Or maybe you're getting a degree in art and design and minoring in art entrepreneurship. So there are all kinds of opportunities there. So kind of begin thinking about those connections. One of the assignments also that you're going to have coming up, your first paper, I call it the IDST paper. And then to give you a kind of heads-up snapshot about that, I want you to write a paper where you talk about every single course you've taken in your cognate areas and in your minor area and kind of what you learned. Because oftentimes we don't even think about that. You know, someone asked me years ago, what do you remember about the courses you took as an undergraduate? I mean, I thought about, that was mind-boggling. What did I learn anything? How do I know that? And it's not till I stopped and looked at each course and thought about kind of what did I take away from that. And that was kind of a real healthy, eye-opening experience. So, week one, off to a great start. Remember all the stuff, the icebreaker and the journal assignment due Saturday night at midnight. I'll have another video for you next week. So kind of take it easy going into the weekend. I don't want you to be kind of overworked, or at least don't be overwhelmed by this. It's all manageable. It's all good. And if anybody can do this, you can. And I'll see you virtually next week.